Welcome, buongiorno. What else do we? Buongiorno, ciao. We are in Italy. Is that surprising? Look at this unbelievable view. Believe it or not, we are not actually live. This is pre-recorded because of the time zone difference. If you were watching it live right now, it's 8 o'clock Eastern in America. I would be sleeping. So we recorded this a little bit early, but this is unbelievable. This is where we are filming during the month of June. We are filming our crucifixion episode, our crucifixion movie, which I'll talk more about later, here in Italy. It is unbelievable. Just so you know, if you are watching on YouTube, please say something in the chat. Even just writing a number is fine, but tell us where you're from. If you're coming from Italy, that's even better. But anywhere around the world, let us know where you're from. If you have a question, you can ask a question, because I will be answering some questions later in the live stream. But it just gets the algorithm going. It tells people, hey, it tells YouTube, it tells anyone who might stumble across it. This live stream is started, and it's something of significance. We have had many people discover the show because of YouTube, because of the algorithm activating with people commenting and asking questions. So just say something in the YouTube chat. If you are watching in anywhere else, like on Facebook or whatever, you can also say something that also activates the algorithm. But welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to launch season 5. Look at this shirt. It says, "The table is set." See the back of it? Yeah. This is The Last Supper, Season 5. In fact, we call it Season 5, The Last Supper. And you are about to watch Season 5, Episode 1. And we're going to make the intro quick. I'm going to share a couple of quick things with you, and then we're going to watch the episode. And after the episode, I've got your questions. I've got some chats with the actors who are here in Italy. I've got some behind-the-scenes footage to show you, some highlights of what we're doing, some of the footage of us filming we've got for you, and we've got some important info on the release of Season 5 here around the world, but also in America. And also some important info about Season 6's release. So let's start showing you more of this incredible set. Behind me, where you just saw, is where we're going to be filming most of the crucifixion, where we're going to be filming Jesus walking down the Via Dolorosa. But this set that I'm about to walk on is also one of the sets that we are using. I wanted to show you, this is not exactly the most uplifting, joyous place where we are going to be filming. But this is an ancient church that has been here for hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands. I'm not sure the exact dates, but this is where we are going to be filming a key scene with Jesus and the Roman soldiers who are mocking him and spitting on him. And while they're doing that inside, where I'll take you in just a moment, outside, this is where Romans would train, and where they're doing some of their practice and training for some of the soldiers. And behind me here, if you can see, is a bush of thorns. And yes, you can imagine what happens because of that thorn bush. And that is where, of course, we see one of the soldiers grab several strands of thorns, and that will be taking place here. So keep coming with me. This is going to be an unconventional live stream, as you can tell. I'm walking around a little bit. I'm about to sit down, but we're going to be a little bit more unconventional. I don't have my usual setup. I don't have my teleprompter. I don't have all of my cues. So I will be occasionally looking at my notes. So just bear with me and forgive me as we get through this. But so right off camera, I've got my Italian friend Leo, who's helping me, and he's showing me some of my notes. So yes, I will occasionally look off at the camera. But why are we filming in Italy? Well, Italy is this one of the few places that has a backdrop that looks like the first century. And we couldn't really recreate that in Utah or Texas when we talked about the horizon line. And the backdrop that you're going to see during our crucifixion scenes is really extraordinary. And we didn't want to use a blue screen or a lot of CGI and visual effects for this. We want it to be as authentic as possible. So we're going to be spending the month of June here. And some of the footage that I'm going to show you later in the live stream, you're not going to believe. It really is extraordinary. One other thing that I wanted to tell you about is if you want to get information, exclusive information from me and updates that you can't get anywhere else, I'll be giving some prayer requests. I'll be giving you access to gift discounts almost every week. I'll give you updates and info that's only exclusive to the people who have this number. It's my text community. So if you text 214-239-1527, that's 214-239-1527. I'll have Colin put it along the bottom of the screen. It will take about 15 seconds to sign up. It doesn't require any money. This is not anything I'm asking of you. This is just a gift to you. This is where I can give you some updates, some info, some gift discounts just to, as a thank you for all that you're doing to support the show and spread the word about the show. So just text that number, and you will get a link to how to sign up. It takes 15, 30 seconds maybe. And then just like that, you'll start getting updates from me. If you'll also give your birthday. So on your birthday, I'll send you a gift discount just for your birthday. I'll also give you a little gift discount just for signing up. Now, outside of the United States, unfortunately, we do not have something like this. So if you're watching outside the United States, this doesn't apply to you. But in the United States, 214-239-1527 for that exclusive text community. All right, so come on in. I'm going to show you. This is the interior of the set. And this is where we will be filming that scene that I just described. Colin, how does it looking? Going from bright to dark. Sometimes that is a little funky. All right, it looks pretty good. So this set right here, when we are filming in it, this is behind this desk. There will be the person who's kind of overseeing the crucifixion, overseeing the torture of Jesus. And a lot of that, some of those scenes that of the torture of Jesus, the whipping, will be done in Texas. But here in Italy, we call this kind of the staging area. And so before the crucifixion, this is where Jesus is taken. You can see the jail cells behind me. And then in this room, after he has been scourged, is where there will be, kind of a circle of Roman soldiers who will be mocking and abusing him before he is then taken out to be crucified. So again, maybe not the most uplifting location to film a live stream, but it does give you an idea of what we're going to be doing here in Italy, and I wanted to give this kind of special location for this live stream. So before episode 5 starts in just a moment, I also want to tell you about the gifts that we are offering right now at thechosengifts.com, www.thechosengifts.com. Now, Leonardo behind the camera is very confused. He does not know about the gift jingle. But I'm going to sit down now. We're going to switch to the other camera, and you can see the quick gifts that we are offering before we get to the episode. All right. So, welcome again. As you can see, we've got the Table is Set t-shirt. And look, these gifts are not, we don't do these gifts because we're trying to just promote the show. The gift sales are actually how we keep our company going. It's how we're able to do live streams like this. It's how we're able to finance all of our operations. The production costs of the show are financed by Come and See, which I'll talk about after the episode. Come and See Foundation finances all of the production, but as a company, we're on our own. And so for us to operate year-round, for us to bring you these live streams, for us to do all the social media that we do, our international efforts, our marketing efforts, all of that, our legal, our human resources, we have 90 full-time employees to do this project and other shows and all of that, and to keep going and to keep being able to offer you these kinds of things. We do gift sales, but also we make sure that every gift that we offer is specific to letting you go deeper, whether it's going deeper into the stories of the Gospels or to start conversations. And so, for example, my favorite, this might be my favorite hoodie that we have ever done. This just came out recently, and I'm so excited. I know that right now the weather might not be hoodie friendly. There's also a t-shirt version of this. But this is the People Must Know hoodie. It says, "People must know." This is the line from The Shepherd, which is the short film about the birth of Christ that is available on Prime Video and is available on the Chosen app for you to watch if you haven't. But that's the pilot episode of the show. And The Shepherd says, "People must know," when describing the birth of Christ. And so that's become a phrase that has been very much become a big part of Chosen lore. And so on the front, we've got some of these symbols: 3 fish, the cross, the crown of thorns. And on the back, I don't know if you can see this, but there's like multiple symbols from the show. But this is, everyone who's worn this hoodie has said it's the most comfortable hoodie we've ever worn. When I wore this on set one day, genuinely, I'm not exaggerating here, I got more comments about people saying, wow, that looks great, or wow, you look great in that hoodie, than anything I've ever worn on set. No one ever comments to me on set about what I'm wearing. For some reason, when I wore this hoodie, I got so many comments. So that's available at thechosengifts.com, the shirt I just wore. And then also, this is the big new gift that we are offering for season 5 that I'm so passionate about. This is our Bible study. And this is the 5th Bible study. We've done a Bible study for every season. My wife and myself and Dr. Doug Huffman, who is our New Testament scholar, contributed to this. My wife does the bulk of the writing. Dr. Huffman does the bulk of the theological depth. But my goodness, these Bible studies, the reason that they've sold hundreds of thousands of copies and are done by small groups and individuals all over the country, and yes, even in other countries around the world, is because they just take you so much deeper into the Bible. And we always say, this is not a supplement to the show. The show is a supplement to the Bible and a supplement to the Bible studies. And this is called The Stronghold of the Chosen. And I'll talk more about this after the episode, but I just want to let you know now, if you wanted to get a head start on it, you can go to the chosengifts.com. But each lesson goes deeper into each particular episode, and there's a section in each study called For Bible Nerds Like Us, and there's also a prayer focus, but this is where you get so much depth and so much insight into the Bible verses and stories that we are basing the show on. So this has been a big, big deal for the show and for people who have gotten this, and it's really been a blessing to a lot of people, so I really strongly encourage you to get this. And yes, if you want to, I know we keep hearing, and trust me, the episode's about to start in just a moment, so bear with me, but people have been asking about the DVDs. Some of you are still old school, some of you didn't want to see it in the theaters, some of you aren't big on the streaming thing, or some of you want to just give gifts, and so you can pre-order the DVDs. The DVDs will be available at the end of the month because it has to come out on Prime Video first. And so at the end of the month, the DVDs will be able to be shipped to you, but you can pre-order them now. So what we're doing, just to celebrate the Season 5 launch at thechosengifts.com, is I'm saying this. If you buy the Bible study with any other item, you're going to get free shipping. So there are 2 ways to get free shipping. You can either, we always say, if you buy $77, why 77? Because 7 is a really nice biblical number. If you buy $77 worth of gifts, you get free shipping. So that happens already. We're also saying for this, if you buy this Bible study with anything else, like the People Must Know hoodie, or the Table is Set shirt that I was wearing, or hoodie, or the People Must Know shirt, or any other item, if you also order the Bible study gives you free shipping, okay? So we just want to give that to you as an encouragement to get the Bible study, as an encouragement to just, go crazy at the gift store, because there's so many things that I really believe will bless you. And then while you're there, yes, you can also pre-order the DVD for Season 5. And when it's shipped to you, it will be shipped separately, and we will pay the cost of shipping for the DVDs. So even though you might get this early, and this will come when you order it, the DVD won't come until later, but we will cover the cost of shipping for the DVD. So without further ado, so quickly, Prime Video release. Prime Video is the exclusive third-party home of The Chosen. So you might be saying, well, when does it come to the Chosen app? It comes to the Chosen app in September. Prime Video has licensed the show here in the United States and in several other countries around the world. And so they've got the exclusive window, and it starts June 15th here in the States. That'll be episodes 1 and 2. Someone is calling me right now on my phone. I'm not going to answer. They don't know that I'm in Italy recording. June 15th is episodes 1 and 2. June 22nd is episodes 3, 4, and 5. June 29th is episodes 6, 7, and 8. Yes, all 8 episodes are coming out within a 3-week span, which then means that 90 days after that, that's going to be in September, it will come out on the Chosen app, free and easy. And yes, at the end of that 3-week period of time on Prime Video is when you can get the DVDs. And we are also going to be showing you episode 3 of Season 5 on June 15th. So That will also be showing you episode 3 before it comes out on Prime Video, so mark that in your calendar. June 15th is episode 3 here on YouTube, and that'll be I think it'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern time, so mark that in your calendar. But the other dates you want to mark in your calendar, June 15th, June 22nd, June 29th, for the release on Prime Video. So much more coming to you after the episode. Do not want to go anywhere. Got so much more to talk to you about, but in the meantime, here is Season 5, Episode 1. This is the Season 5 Last Supper, and there's going to be so much that we're going to have to talk about afterwards, after you watch this episode. I assume you're caught up. If you have not watched Seasons 1 through 4, well, don't watch this episode. Stop what you're doing right now and go get caught up, because you're going to need to watch those episodes for this episode to make sense. But thank you so much for being here and for joining us here in Italy. Can you believe it? And more to talk to you afterwards. Enjoy Season 1, sorry, I'm screwing up. Season 5, Episode 1, worst introduction ever. Enjoy.
Listen carefully, because I'm going to tell you what is about to happen. In a little while, you will not see me. And then after a little while, you will see me. Truly, truly I say to you, you will weep and lament. But the world will rejoice. You will be sorrowful, but your sorrow will turn into joy. When a woman is giving birth, she has sorrow because her hour has come. But when she has delivered the baby, she no longer remembers the anguish. It's replaced by joy that a human being has been brought into the world. So yes, you have sorrow now. But I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take your joy from you. In that day, you will ask nothing more of me. Truly, truly, whatever you ask of the Father in my name, He will give it to you. Until now, you have asked nothing in my name. Ask, and you will receive, that your joy may be full. I have said so many things to you in figures of speech, and you have seen so many things that you haven't fully understood. Some because you cannot fully grasp all of this until my time is complete. But you have remained faithful. And the hour is coming when I will no longer speak to you in figures of speech, but will tell you plainly about the Father. In that day, you will ask in my name, and no longer will you need me to ask the Father on your behalf, for the Father Himself loves you. And you can ask Him directly, because you have loved me and have believed that I came from God. I came from the Father and have come into the world. And now, I am leaving the world and going to the Father.
Thank you
For what?
You said it plainly. No longer using figures of speech.
I feel less anxious now.
Now we know that you know all things and do not need anyone to question you.
This is why we truly believe you came from God. Do you now believe? Always.
Always.
Yes.
Yes.
Hold on to that belief. Because I tell you, the hour is coming. Indeed, it has come. When you will be scattered, each to his own home, and will leave me alone. Oh, Rabbi.
We would never do that. We never have to work.
This is not the time for your declarations of loyalty. I have heard them. And I do not doubt your earnest intentions. Time will reveal all things. Andrew, let's close with a hymn. But before we do, be assured, all of you, I am not alone, for the Father is with me. I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. For in this world, you will have tribulation. But take heart. I have overcome the world.
O Lord, open the gates to me. Of righteousness I would enter. Through them that I will give thanks. All to you, my Lord. This is the gate of the
Father,
Lord.
the hour has come.
The righteous shall
Glorify your Son, that the Son may glorify you, since you have given him authority over all flesh, to give eternal life to all whom you have given him. And this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. I glorified you on earth, having accomplished the work that you gave me to do.
This is what the Lord has done. Marvelous before our eyes.
Coming up in a little bit, I will take your questions about this episode. We've had some pre-loaded questions from those who saw the episode in theaters. They posted their questions on social media, and so we collected some of the most commonly asked questions. So I'll get into that a bit more. We'll dive a little bit deeper into the episode. But in the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed episode 1. You get to see quite a bit of variety of emotions. I mean, we open the episode right away with near the end of the Last Supper. That becomes a theme in this season. Instead of doing the Last Supper all in one big scene, which I believe would have felt very, very long, would have taken up an entire episode, and also would have, I think, caused a few of the really key moments in the Last Supper to get lost in the shuffle. We wanted to give each of the key moments their own space, and they're also connected in many ways to each of the episodes. And so some of the themes of the sections of the Last Supper that we show at the beginning of each episode will also play out through the rest of that episode. And so, yes, we are showing the Last Supper in each episode in reverse, so that you will also lean in a little bit. I think that if we had just shown the Last Supper as one long thing, you might have settled in a little bit, missed a few things. We really want you to lean in. We want you to dig a little bit deeper. We want you to also absorb some of the significant things that are coming in this momentous moment. And of course, the episode begins with this really emotional place at the Last Supper. And then we get to see the joy of the triumphal entry. But in the midst of the joy of the triumphal entry, you also cannot ignore the fact, nor can Jesus ignore the fact, of what is coming. And so as we oftentimes try to show in this show, and you're going to see that play out in season 5 and then a lot in season 6, that God's economy of time is different from our own in many ways, and I think this would have happened for Jesus, the Son of God. Past, present, and future are all wrapped up into one. And so many times in our episodes, you'll see flashbacks, sometimes you'll see flash forwards. And for Jesus, in the moment where he is entering the city, people are cheering for him. They are worshiping him. This is probably one of the most famous acts of corporate worship. By corporate, I mean collective worship in history. And in the middle of it, Jesus knows what is to come, not only that week, but also years from now, years from the time of the triumphal entry, when he's thinking about what's going to happen to Jerusalem. They will not only be killing the innocent Son of God, but they will also be lost in several years to their own conflicts with others. And this city is going to need to repeatedly be reminded of who the Messiah is, and they will often forget it, and that causes Jesus great pain, even in the midst of this triumph. And so you see him also when he's giving the speech in the temple, and we hear the voice of God for the first time in our show, which, by the way, sounds a little bit like Jesus if you paid attention closely. Even in the midst of that, Jesus doubles over in pain because of the oppression that he knows is coming personally. But even in that moment and throughout this week, he says, not my will, but yours. I am here to do an important act, and I must not be distracted from it. And that's a theme throughout the season. And so you see not only Jesus wrestling with this, but the disciples then also wrestling with it, not fully understanding what he's saying, not fully grasping what is to come. Magdalene and John, because of their intuition, because of their empathy, because of their sensitivity, they're picking up on some things, but they're not sure exactly what is to come. Can you trust and follow even when you don't understand? That is a theme throughout this season of the apostles, and I hope it's a theme for you as you watch this show. I hope that a reminder of this season of the rewards of faith and commitment, even when you don't fully understand, and the consequences of rejection when you don't understand something. You may have noticed at the scene in the Last Supper, there's a seat empty, and that was originally filled by someone who did not follow and trust when he didn't understand, and I hope we don't make that same mistake. If you are late to the live stream, please rewind. Please go back to the beginning. You can do that. We always want you to, if you're coming into the middle of it, to just rewind from the beginning and watch all of this. Later in this live stream, we've got a behind-the-scenes look at our time here in Italy. Yes, we are filming season 6, the crucifixion sequence over the course of the month of June here in Italy. We're going to show you some of behind-the-scenes footage of what we've been filming. You're going to get some exclusive glimpses on this live stream, so stay tuned for that. We've also had a chat with several of the actors who are participating in our time here in Italy. And we've also got some info for you on the Season 5 international release, the Season 6 release. There's some important announcements that we've been making that I want to make sure you hear. But before all that, I have something very important that I want to talk to you about. And this is the part of the live stream that you might be thinking, okay, could you just get to the things you just talked about? It feels like sometimes that you're oftentimes promoting the gifts, or you're talking about how to donate to the show, and we just want to enjoy the show. And if you just want to watch the show, that's fine. It will be on Prime, episodes 1 and 2, next week, next Sunday. And you can do that. But I also hope that you will recognize that in order for us to be able to give this show free around the world, because yes, while it is right now, Season 5 will only be available on Prime for a period of time, eventually, like always, and as I've always promised, this show will be free and easy to watch in the Chosen app. That will be coming in September. And in order to keep it free, like I've promised, that requires some sacrifices on our part. We do not get the kind of money from the big streamer or from sales, ticket sales and all that kind of stuff that other shows might get, because we have insisted that it won't just be exclusive to Prime Video for a long period of time. We also must make it available free on the Chosen app. And because we have made it free, people around the world, in literally every country in the world, have been able to enjoy this show and be impacted by this show. Because we make it free, because of Come and See, which is the nonprofit, that's not, Come and See is not me. Come and See is a separate nonprofit that finances the production of the show. Their stated mission is to get the authentic Jesus to the world, and primarily through the means of the Chosen. And so Come and See is responsible to not only guarantee that the show will always remain free, to not only guarantee that the production of the show will be financed on time, and even if we're not getting enough money from license fees and from gift sales to produce the show, Come and See will ensure that we're able to produce the show each year. They also ensure that the show is dubbed in dozens of languages currently. We're the most dubbed show in the history of television, but also that it's translated into what will eventually be 600 languages around the world. Now, any traditional streaming platform or broadcaster will not do that because there isn't a financial incentive to do so. In many of these countries, there will never be any kind of income that would be able to sustain the show or even pay for the translation or dubbing that is necessary for it to even reach them. So Come and See is motivated, like we are, to make sure that people can watch the show even if they're not contributing. And so when you allow me the opportunity on these live streams to take a few minutes to tell you how you can be involved, this is in place of a commercial. Instead of commercial breaks, instead of an infomercial where we're constantly pitching you, I just ask for you to give me a few minutes of your time to listen to what I have to say about Come and See. If you have been blessed by the show in some way, if the show has impacted in you in some way, if you have seen it impact others in some way who have been able to see it free because of Come and See, then I would just ask in exchange the small favor of you giving me a few minutes of your time to hear about why Come and See is so important, why Season 6 filming requires an extra effort on the part of Come and See, and in this case, you. And so what I'd love to do, if you would indulge me, is I want to read you a letter that we recently received, and I want to share with you how you can help ensure that this continues to happen, and that you can actually help ensure that Season 6, the filming here in Italy, the crucifixion season, which is going to end up costing us a lot more than we originally anticipated, that you can ensure that it still gets done and that we're able to do Season 7 as well. So here is this letter that we got from a woman named Marisha. And this was really, really impactful, and I hope you'll pay close attention. She says, "Hi, I'm sure you get 1,000 messages. I didn't see The Chosen before I heard it at Missing Peace, PEACE, the restoration home for trafficked women God directed me to just the day after giving myself to him. I did not trust God. I did not love God. I was angry. But he still took this meager offering of hopelessness and depression and suicidal tendencies the day I got laid off. sitting outside the recovery house in Nashville I had been at for 18 months. I had been laid off from my $28 an hour sheet metal job. I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. Everything was caving in again. So I did what they told me in meetings. I called my sponsor, and she said, "You have got to give it to God." I'd been stubbornly avoiding that part. So I thought, what's the worst he can do? Nothing? I feel like that's what's been happening so far anyway. So I said, fine, here. And I thought, what's one day without my normal life? And I went inside to crawl into my bed and my cocoon and distract myself with forensic files or the like, just watching television. The next day, I got a call from Nashville. This is the next day after she surrendered. From the Nashville Against Human Trafficking. I'd paired with them for therapy more than 6 months before this day. This is a woman who all her life had been suffering from abuse as a child, which she mentions later, but also she'd been trafficked for years. And she says, my caseworker was calling for something different. She was calling about something else, but I told her about my hopelessness and my life was imploding again. And she says, have you ever thought about a faith-based program? I asked what she meant. I didn't know healing was possible. I didn't realize I'd been spiritually bleeding out for 36 years either. So she hangs up to make some calls about this, and I just sort of chuckle at God. I'm like, yeah, okay. She calls back, and the first place that she mentions is not for me. So I think, see, I knew it. Nothing's going to happen. But she calls back again with a place called Missing Peace. I agree, and I go because something's happening. I can just feel it. But when I got there, they took my phone, and there's also lies repeating in my head. You're not worthy to be here. Your story isn't bad enough to be here. This happened to you 24 years ago. Leave room for others. But God knew what I needed. Meanwhile, the other resident and the house mom were intently watching something. I didn't care what they were watching because they took my phone. But at some point, my deaf ears heard. So I started glancing at it and then watching, forgetting to go outside to smoke. This stuff in this show called The Chosen couldn't be in that new Bible on my new bed. When I started asking them questions about the show, they immediately started rewatching it from season 1. They were already on season 2. And I saw some of the things in my Bible that were also in the show. And I watched Mary Magdalene in episode 1. I watched her being tormented by demons the same way that I was. I saw her think about causing her own death at the cliff's edge, just as I had done. I saw others try to help her, like with me, and it was to no avail. But then Jesus called her by her name. I have never felt so emotional or as lucky as I did when I saw him hold her face and tell her, "You are mine," because it opened my eyes to where I was, a place of healing. Finally. 4 days later, I was baptized. I haven't stopped watching and rewatching since. I was there for 9 months, being poured into, binge watching The Chosen, getting introduced to Jesus, and eventually to Father God. Getting up at 5:30 a.m. every morning to have coffee, prayer, and study time in the Word. You would not recognize me or my life today. She said that in all caps. I was just brought on to AmeriCorps to work with at-risk youth, which is exactly the sort of place I needed back when I was being abandoned and trafficked at 12 years old. So to say God is bringing it full circle in my life is a total understatement. And to hear the whole story, the torture and torment from infancy all through childhood, me turning on myself, teenager through adulthood, it just felt hopeless. So now I am able to give hope to other children. I cannot thank you enough, every single one of you. I will do my best to get this to someone who can share it with the ones who God knows may need to hear it the most. I couldn't not share the weight of impact y'all have had in my story. Thank you for answering his call. Now, the reason that so many people have had this story, and we hear from people like Marisha all the time. We hear from people in all stages of life from all over the world, many of whom have been able to see it for free. They wouldn't have been able to see it otherwise. They didn't have the money. And so our insistence on keeping it free is because of you. So when someone thanks us, we want to make sure that you are also thanked. And so when you give to come and see, when you donate to come and see, it allows us to keep it free. It allows the production of the show to continue. It allows us to keep all of the control of the show. We are not influenced by anyone else. And it allows the show to be translated into dozens, ultimately hundreds of languages all over the world. Well, this year, season 6, when Tyler, Ryan, and I wrote the scripts and we delivered them, it became very clear to the production that this was going to cost more than we had originally budgeted and that Come and See had originally agreed to finance. Mostly because the schedule was going to be 20 days longer because there was so much night filming. And we also really believed that the crucifixion should be filmed here in Italy because of the backdrop. The location where we're filming is unbelievable, and you can see some of the footage of this location, and you can see why. And we knew that this was so important to keep the authenticity. There was no other place that would allow us to see that kind of horizon line while we're doing the crucifixion, and the streets and the texture of the streets that we couldn't recreate. And so when the budget came in higher and some of the storylines of season 6 were revealed to the production, storylines that we have never done anything like this before, I can promise you. Season 6, when people read it from Come and See, when our biblical scholars read it, when our cast and crew read it, the response was overwhelming. People described weeping, people described being blown away by some of the chances that we took, some of the things we show in season 6 in a way that we've never done before. More of the supernatural, more of the heaven meeting earth. And the season just was very expensive. And I said to Mark Green, who is the founder of Come and See, I said, we can remove some of these things. We can make this episode, we can reduce the number of stories. We can reduce the scope of the episodes. We can not shoot in Italy. We can try to find ways to make this season come in at the budget that we originally agreed on. And I feel responsible to do that. But I just wanted to give you the opportunity to see this and to maybe consider financing more. And Come and See read the scripts and considered all of the factors and said, yes, we want to do this. And so this was before all the money has come in, right? I mean, season 6 isn't even fully funded yet. But Come and See guarantees that they will take the chance in advance, even when not all the funds have come in yet. They will personally guarantee it. There is a family and a few donors who have agreed to just make sure that they will advance the money to make sure that we're able to do it on time, and in this case, to do it over budget, hoping that and counting on the fact that the money will eventually come in from people like yourself. And so we want to also make the season finale a global theatrical release. So episodes 1 through 6 are going to come out next year. It will be later than normal because we want to have it come out in multiple languages at the same time, which takes a lot of time. This season is going to take longer to film, which means that post-production is going to go later. And this is the most complicated and challenging season that we've ever done. And so it's just going to require more time. And so episodes 1 through 6 are going to come out sometime in 2026, in the second half of the year. We don't know exactly yet when. But then the season finale, which is episode 7, which is going to be a supersized episode. It's going to be, it's not, instead of being 2 episodes just combined, it's going to be one big, huge episode, one big, huge global theatrical release. We're going to release it all over the world in as many countries as possible at the same time in theaters in multiple languages. The target release date is going to be March 2027. That may be earlier, we don't know, but it won't be later than that. And we really want to make this a global event, and the marketing dollars that is going to be required and the production costs are going to be higher than what we have ever done before. And so Come and See has taken this risk because they have read the scripts and they are seeing what we are doing, and we're going to need more than we've ever known before, and so that we've ever needed before. And so we're going to ask you, I don't have any holdback in just being upfront and honest with you and saying, we need more, we need your help. Come and See needs your help. And so if you go to comeandsee.net, it's /donate, comeandsee.net/donate. Colin, hopefully you've been putting that up along the screen while I've been talking, but if not, please put it up now. But comeandsee.net, you can just go to that website and it'll be obvious where the donation opportunity is, or you can just do /donate. And if you have never done that before, it doesn't take long to sign up. And if you have, then just please do it again. But we're going all in. This is, I can promise you that the theatrical release that we are doing, the season finale, the global movie that we are doing, the opportunity to tell the story of the crucifixion in a way that's never been done before is something we can't pass up on. And we put everything we had, we always put everything we have into these episodes. It's not like this season is any more important than any other season. We always want to get this right. We always want to capture this story accurately and faithfully and with high quality. But obviously the crucifixion is known all over the world, and there will be millions of people who will see this who haven't seen The Chosen. But there will be tens of millions of people who will see it, who have seen seasons 1 through 5, will have seen the first 6 episodes of season 6. The soil will have been tilled in a way that makes them more ready to hear the story of the crucifixion and what it means. And I can tell you that the way we tell this story, we make this, I don't want to give too much away, but we make sure that this is the telling of the entire story of history. From creation to the fall of man, to death entering the world, to Passover. It's not like we take all this tons of time, but I'm just saying we introduce to you how all of those things are relevant to the crucifixion story. And there are elements of this story that we lean into, famous moments that you know from Scripture that you are going to understand even more because of how we're telling this story. And people who barely know the story are going to hear it in a way that they have never truly understood before. And I just can tell you this is going to be a global event, and we're going all in on the production, and we're going all in on the marketing, and all in on the languages to create a global theatrical event, and we need your help. This is not being financed by a big studio. This is almost entirely going to be financed by you. So anything you can do to contribute would be truly meaningful. And please don't think, well, because it requires so much money, my little contribution doesn't mean anything. Small contributions mean just as much to us because we want that connection with you. We want you to be involved in this. And yes, there will be opportunities. You'll see them at the website. Come and see, offering opportunities for you if you do donate, ways that, like for getting your name in the credits and things like that. There's other things that they're offering in exchange for your donation. But I think, honestly, I would hope that you don't even need something like that, that you're just going to join us in this extraordinary work that God is doing all over the world. And there's going to be nothing like this. And so I just really ask you to consider that. I thank you for your patience in giving me the grace to tell you about this. And because this is how we do it. This is how we're able to do this show. This is how we're going to be able to do this movie and how we're able to do this marketing. So with that, I would love to show you behind the scenes of what we've already been doing here in Italy. We've already been filming some scenes, and we're not going to give too much away. If you don't want to see anything, then you can just pause the live stream for a couple minutes and then come back. But I do think you're going to enjoy this, and it's not going to give any spoilers away, but you're going to get a chance to see just how big and beautiful and, yes, heartbreaking, but powerful what we're doing is, and the incredible crew that we're working with here in Italy. And so enjoy this behind-the-scenes look at our time here in Italy so far. So I think after watching that, you can get a glimpse and can understand why we decided to film here. You cannot replicate this. The streets, the walls, the horizon line, it is a special, special place, and there's nothing like it. And we went through every single scenario, and I really believe, and I'm not just saying this, God just kept drawing us back to Italy. At one point, we decided not to do it. We thought it's too expensive, too complicated, too disruptive. There's night filming that takes place. I don't know if you know this, but during the crucifixion, there's 3 hours of darkness. And I had forgotten about that when we started writing the script, and I'm going, oh my goodness. Season 6 covers 24 hours, most of it at night. And then when we get to the daytime during the crucifixion, then that goes at night as well. And so there's going to be a week of filming here at night that we're going to be filming all night long for every night for a week, which is going to be brutal. So that's another thing. I just hope that you'll consider praying for us and recognizing that this is the hardest thing we've ever done. It's exhausting. We're all exhausted already. We haven't even gotten to the night shoots yet. We've been doing night shoots in Texas. We did some night shoots in Utah, more night shoots than we've ever done. And it is, filming from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. is brutal. So just pray for us dealing with personal issues in my family, health crises. Everything is coming against us this season, including the production. And so we definitely would appreciate your prayers. In just a moment, I'm going to be showing you the cast. The cast is here. While we were filming, we obviously didn't want to bother them too much. So right before we filmed, I got together, Durbin got together with some of the cast and just got their thoughts on season 6, which we're about to do, got their thoughts on season 5. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. After that, I'm going to show you, or I'm going to take your questions. We've already gotten some questions preloaded, so I am going to answer the most commonly asked questions about this first episode, and also give you some info on the international release of season 5, and the details on our next live stream, which is episode 3 of season 5, which we'll be showing you free and easy here on YouTube in just a week or so, just like a week and a half. So stay tuned for all of that. But real quick, I just wanted to remind you of our gifts. This hoodie that I am wearing, if you missed my intro, or if you fast forwarded through it, this is without a doubt what everyone who has worn this hoodie so far has said. It's the most comfortable hoodie we have. It's their favorite hoodie. I'm telling you, everyone who's worn it loves it. And I said this beforehand, but I wore it on set once, and I never get comments on my clothes. And I got like 5 comments that day just saying, wow, that hoodie looks great. Wow, where'd you get that? What is that? This is our People Must Know hoodie. People Must Know is the phrase that was ad-libbed on the set of The Shepherd, the pilot episode. If you haven't seen The Shepherd yet, by the way, if you haven't seen The Messengers or The Shepherd, those are our 2 Christmas episodes that are part of Chosen canon, and some of you have not seen them yet. So on Prime Video, on the Chosen app, you can, of course, watch both The Shepherd and The Messengers. Look for them. Look for our Christmas specials. We have several of them, and you can also watch a combination. We called it Oh Holy Night. This is a combination of those 2 episodes. We melded them together after the fact, that it came together beautifully. But The Shepherd was our pilot episode, the short film I did on my friend's farm in Illinois, 20 minutes from my house. And that was when I came up with the idea for The Chosen. Well, if you watch that short film, you will see this phrase, people must know. And it was ad-libbed by the actor during the episode, and that became one of our key phrases for the whole show. And on the back, I'm not going to turn around again, but the back of the hoodie has all these wonderful images, and we've got here these icons of 3 fish, the one that's going against the current, we've got the cross and the crown of thorns. But there's a shirt, there's a hoodie, and we've also got the season 5 Bible study. It's called The Stronghold of the Chosen. This takes you deeper into the stories, deeper into the episodes. We take scenes from the episodes and then show you their corresponding scriptures and talk about the meaning behind them. You get Jewish history. You get things like I just happened to open this book right to halfway through, and it talks about who Joseph of Arimathea was. And it talks about some of the terms that you'll see in the Bible that maybe you don't easily understand. We've got prayer prompts. We've got sample prayers, prayer focuses. We've got this section that comes in every single lesson It's called For Bible Nerds Like Us Who Want to Know. And so it talks about some of Jesus' parables. It talks about some of the teachings. It just goes much deeper into it. And it's called, again, The Stronghold of the Chosen. This is our 5th Bible study. If you haven't gotten the previous one, hundreds of thousands of people have been truly impacted by these Bible studies, and for groups or for individuals. And a stronghold is a place of safety, fortified to protect inhabitants against attack. It's a place where people can feel secure, surrounded by high, sturdy walls. It's a place to rest and be restored. It's a place to plan the way forward. It's a place. But throughout the Bible, we're told that God is the stronghold for those who follow Jesus, that he's our refuge in hard times, and that in his presence, our resources can be renewed. But sometimes we resist running to Jesus. Like the crowds on that first Palm Sunday, remember this episode 1 that you just saw, we vacillate between declaring him Hosanna, the one who saves. Hosanna, sorry. Jonathan Rumi's always telling me it's Hosanna, right, Durbin? Hosanna.
That is correct.
Do you normally say Hosanna, or do you say Hosanna?
Normally I say Hosanna.
Yeah, Hosanna. I'm partly because I'm from Chicago. So we say Hosanna to the King of Kings and to the Lord of Lords. And then we watch the Bears after we go to church on Sunday, and we say Hosanna. But it's not just Chicagoans who say Hosanna. Have you said Hosanna?
Yeah, I'm an
Well,
Iowan, and I say Hosanna.
Yeah. Well, it's Midwest. You're from Iowa. But Jonathan Rumi is like, it's Hosanna. And I'm like, fine, nerd. You played Jesus, so I guess I'll listen. So anyway, the one who saves, and forfeiting the very safety and security he graciously provides. In the stronghold of the chosen, the season 5 Bible study, we'll learn that Jesus, I love that, that Jesus is our safe place, along with all the reasons we should run to and remain in him when hard times come. So hard times come in season 5, and hard times are coming even more in season 6, and we need a stronghold. So you also can get, right now, we're also doing the table is set. This feels weird. Do I look weird just going like, show?
It's a little weird.
It's a little weird, sorry. It's the table is set shirt, and on the back of it, and Colin maybe put up the image of the shirt, the front and back, so I don't need to be any more awkward or inappropriate. The back is the Last Supper image, the infamous image from season 5. That's our specific season 5 shirt and hoodie. And then, of course, if you want, you can pre-order the DVD. The DVD is not available, doesn't start shipping until the end of the month after it has been on Amazon. After it's been on Prime Video. That's the official name of the streaming platform, Prime Video. Prime Video. After it's been on their season 5 is episodes 1 and 2, June 18th. June 15th. And then second part, episodes 3, 4, 5, June 22nd. Third part, episodes 6, 7, and 8, all coming out June 29th. That's when the DVDs then get shipped to you, but you can pre-order them now if you want. So the 2 ways to get free shipping, if you go to thechosengifts.com, www.thechosengifts.com, or in Italy, it would be www.thechosengifts.com. Right? No, not good? No good. I'm telling you, by the way, the crew here, the Italian crew and the people, everything you've heard is true. They talk like what we see in the movies. Everything sounds like an argument, and they talk like me with their hands. And I'm sitting in a restaurant, and I'll hear some little boy talk to his dad and be like, everything is true. That's how they talk here in Italy. I may be losing my Italian friends right now, but I'm telling you, it's awesome. But anyway, I was inspired to sing the jingle in an Italian way, and it did not work. Durbin is shaking his head. But anyway, thechosengifts.com, 2 ways to get free shipping. One is if you spend $77 or more, automatically unlocks free shipping. If you get the Bible study with anything, so let's just say you just get the People Must Know hoodie or shirt, and you just want to get the Bible study. If you get this Bible study with anything else, free shipping, even if you don't hit the $77. So all that great stuff, and there's so many other great things at thechosengifts.com if you see them. So without further ado, here is my chat, Durbin's chat with the cast on their thoughts on seasons 5 and 6. Enjoy.
Season 5 hitting Prime Video on June 15th. What are you most excited about with that? What are you most excited for fans to see?
I'm excited for them to see it.
There's going to be an obvious answer considering the title of that season, but I would say the triumphant entry for sure. I've been saying that all the time about season 5. It's just unlike anything you've ever seen before, and it really sets up the week as to what people thought it was going to be. Right. But we all know kind of where it ends up.
I think I'm most excited for people to just see that entire week, how we tell the story in a good span of 5-6 days. Yeah, the joy that starts out the week, and then the intensity that sort of finishes the week.
I'm most excited for the fans to really be able to see and walk through like Jesus' final moments, especially the Last Supper. I think that bringing all the characters together and just these raw human emotions, and just it's beautiful, but it's also heartbreaking.
You have a good raw moment with Jesus at a dinner
Our
in
Lady
season 5.
Supper.
Yes.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I'm so glad they put that in, because he would have sat with the women too.
Really excited for everyone to partake in the Diane with the women. I had to keep it a secret first when they asked, what's your favorite scene from 5? And I couldn't say anything. Now I can.
Yes.
And that was like one of my favorite scenes to film.
I'm excited to watch it myself. Not on the big screen, on the small screen, revisit some of my favorite moments. But I'm also really excited for fans to see the Dianu scene.
This is the season that leads up to the last final crucial day, which is the season that we're shooting now. So it's going to be an emotional roller coaster. We see sides of Jesus we haven't seen yet. We see the apostles really in a lot of panic, figuring out what's happening. And for my character, for Shmuel, we see him finally really trying to take action against what he thinks is a dangerous presence in his city. So we see a new elevated sense of panic and frustration from Shmuel.
Well, at the time of recording this, we are 1 day away of beginning to film the crucifixion, and we're filming it in Italy in front of the ancient city of Matera. So what kind of anticipation does that give you, and how does it feel different doing it here in Italy?
I think there's just so much less acting, which also happens with all the fans with us when they come out, like where we can feed off that energy. Now it's like we're living in this space. There is no pretending. It's almost like the fourth wall doesn't even exist. We're here, and it's beautiful, and it just adds a whole other layer of authenticity to an already extremely well thought out and authentic show.
We all do feel like we've been transported somewhere else in the season, so it does kind of feel, I don't know, it does feel right to be somewhere else for this. I think as an actor and as the characters, you kind of feel like that, yeah, it's like an out-of-body experience because we can't believe what we're seeing. And maybe the cast can't believe that we're here in Italy, so there we go.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't know how to emotionally prepare myself. I haven't really traveled a lot outside of the United States, so it's already very intense just to be outside of the United States in general.
Just raw emotion. I feel it now. I'm kind of like shaking because it's happening in front of us, and the history too of the city. I think there's no other place that I think would bring it to life in such a way.
But to be in this area with so much history, and to be able to walk these streets that have been walked for thousands of years, I'm just overwhelmed, and I'm sure that'll be coming through in my performance as I watch these very intense scenes and participate in them as an actor. So there probably won't be much acting needed.
I think I'm so excited about the spectacle of it, because it's such a beautiful, breathtaking location. And it's not only going to be amazing for people to watch, the finished product, but it's also like a visceral experience for us as actors. And that's something that makes, working in this medium so exciting and incredible from an acting standpoint. Is like, you don't have to imagine quite as much. It feels very real.
It's been, for me, extremely emotional. It's been intense.
So you're the soldier that's gonna whip Jesus, and you're gonna get him with the spear.
Mock him quite a bit, and I think, it was an interesting one, because when I researched him, he's obviously a real character that originated from somewhere around Turkey, we think, and so that gave me something to go on in terms of his discipline and what his objectives were and all that,
There's been some, I don't know, reluctance to get to this point for a number of reasons. Part of the reason is that once we shoot this, it's done, and we're one step closer to being finished with the series. For me, it's been intimidating. It's been kind of emotional. It's been a roller coaster for me, getting to this point.
And what is that like for you being the character that hurts Jesus this way throughout the whole process?
That was a tricky one because I told my mum, and I said, I'm the guy who's, because everyone knows the story in the Bible, who spears Jesus, and she was like, well, she took a moment, and I was, we're portraying it. It's obviously not a real thing, but it's sentimental. But I think our job as actors is to portray something as accurately as we're told we should portray it, rather than we're not those characters. So there's a lot in that, and I do, having been brought up as a Catholic and not I practiced growing up and then fell out of it, and then sort of rethinking my whole place within that now. I do feel like sometimes when I'm doing the scenes with Jonathan, I do a little sign of the cross just before, just to make sure I'm good, We
gotta move forward in faith and hopefully grace, and as smooth a journey as we can possibly have for such an intense series of scenes.
What's going to be most important for this season is like the recovery, because being so in it every day, so many days, you kind of forget how to come back sometimes.
Right.
So I'm hoping that because we're all here together sharing this experience, that we have like a really high quality recovery. You can do that with pasta, yeah?
All right, hope you enjoyed the actors' insights on this. I mean, they are also, I just pray for the actors, because this week and this season, obviously extremely difficult, particularly for Jonathan, of course, who has to suffer not only the emotional weight of portraying the crucifixion sequences, but also the other actors who have to stay in this very, very heavy place every day for hours at a time, and also watching Jonathan go through challenging physical difficulties. Just the time it takes to be on the cross that long, and the physical discomfort, just having your arms up that long is just very, very difficult. So obviously nothing compared to the actual suffering of Christ, but this is just an immensely challenging season. So I hope that you'll keep the cast in your prayers during this season. All right, so I'm going to get to your questions about the episode. I just want to give you now the insights into the release of season 5. We remind you of the release here in the United States and then in other countries around the world. So lean in. I know some of you have lots of questions about this. Many of you are going, well, when is it coming to my country? I get it. I wish we could release everything at the same time in every country. It's just not possible with some of the different distributors there and streaming platforms and all of that stuff. And so while we are going to release the season 6 finale in theaters all over the world at the same time, the streaming is always a little bit different. And that's true of most shows. So please try to be patient, and please try to avoid just angrily complaining on social media or in the comments section. It's not like we're keeping it from you because we want more money or because we're just being mean or anything like that. Obviously, we are always going to keep this show free eventually. But like every other show or movie in the history of the world, we are the only one that's totally free, that doesn't even require a subscription if you eventually want to watch it on the chosen app. So we hope that you're grateful for that. But similar to every show and movie in the world, there's sometimes windows. It comes out to theaters first, and then it comes out to one particular streaming platform, and then it comes out to another. And so just be patient, please. But in the United States, as I've said, episodes 1 and 2 come out next Sunday. That is June 15th. Episodes 3 through 5 come out on June 22nd, and episodes 6 through 8 come out on the 29th. So that was wonderful of Prime Video, even though they have the exclusive rights, and it doesn't come out in the chosen app until 90 days after the season finale, they wanted to get the entire season to you quickly. And so it's just coming out over the course of 3 weeks, which is the fastest we've ever released a season. In the shortest amount of time we've ever released a season. They're also allowing us to do this live stream, to give you this episode free on YouTube before it comes out. They're allowing us to do it again on episode 3. So after you watch episodes 1 and 2 on Prime Video, Sunday the 22nd, Sunday the 15th, before episode 3, 4, 5 comes out on the 22nd, on Wednesday the 18th, mark this down, at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, we will be doing a live stream here on YouTube again, giving you episode 3 free and easy on YouTube. And so we'll have gift discounts, we'll have new gifts, we'll have tons of fun and guests and all that kind of stuff. More exclusive footage from Italy, our time here. So you're not going to want to miss that. And you'll get a chance to see episode 3 before everyone else on Prime Video. Now, outside of the United States, again, I'm looking at some of my notes here. Season 5 will be coming to Prime Video in select international markets in the same cadence, meaning part 1, part 2, part 3, the 2, 3, and 3 episodes at a time, on July 13th, 20th, and 27th. Now, these are the countries where it's coming on that time. Canada, across Latin America, most of Latin America from what I understand, the UK, Sub-Saharan Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. Now, if you are in a different country than that, some of those things are still up in the air. Now, at the very latest, it will be available in your country in the Chosen app in September. So even if it doesn't come to your country on Prime Video or another broadcaster or streamer before September, it will be on the Chosen app, free and easy, in September. Now, most countries, or many countries, will have it before then on either Prime Video or potentially some other streamer, we don't know, but at least on Prime Video on many countries. We're working that out right now. So I know some of you in Germany, you're in Switzerland, you're in India. We have so many wonderful fans in so many of these countries. I promise you, we're trying to get it to you as fast as we can. Prime Video is trying to get it to you as fast as we can. Please stay tuned to your local Chosen social media. Please stay tuned to the main social media page on the Chosen. We'll eventually have a website where we'll point you to all the places where it's coming and which times. We're trying to get it to you as fast as we can. But at the very latest, no matter what, you will be able to see it in the Chosen app. If you don't have the app yet, you just look in the App Store for the Chosen. You'll find it right away. And that's where you can see seasons 1 through 4, free and easy. You don't have to sign up for anything. I mean, you have to give your email address to get the latest seasons. But we don't require you to pay anything. It's got all this exclusive content. It's got the after shows, which are exclusive to the Chosen app, right? I think the after shows are still exclusive to the Chosen app. The Bible roundtables, which I know you've been very excited about. The Bible roundtables are exclusive to the Chosen app. We've got all this content that you can get free and easy if you want to go deeper into the show. So get that now. And season 5 will be there in September. It may come earlier in certain markets on Prime Video. And here in the United States, it's coming here in June. All right, so please stay tuned for more information on that. By the way, if you are thinking, I don't want to get Prime Video or I can't afford Prime Video, they are offering a 30-day free trial. So just when you go to sign up for Prime Video, if you don't have a Prime subscription already, which most of the country does. I mean, Prime, like I think over 100 million people have Prime subscriptions. So if you already have one, then you're fine. But if you don't, you do get a 30-day free trial. And then Prime Video wanted me to let you know that Amazon.com's Prime Access program provides a discounted Amazon Prime membership to eligible government assistance recipients like SNAP and Medicaid and income-verified customers. So if you are someone who typically don't think you can afford something like this, Prime does offer discounts. So just look into that. So don't just assume that you can't do it. All right. So questions from you about episode 1. These are some of the most commonly asked questions. Marina asks, did anyone find it strange that Jesus asks Andrew to sing a song instead of little James? Well, you might have noticed that over the course of several seasons, we've noticed that little James was an aspiring singer. So yes, he could have asked little James, but Andrew, if you've noticed also throughout the seasons, is sometimes Jesus' assistant. You know, he's someone who is very, very faithful, very loyal, very quick to obey. We started showing you that in season 1. He is also a singer and has shown himself musically inclined throughout the seasons. And so we just typically, when Jesus is needing something or wanting some leadership that is outside of Simon Peter's traditional leadership, he turns to Andrew. And so that was why we did it that way. And so Andrew starts to lead the hymn. Laura asks, is the tall Roman soldier in the destruction of the temple scene Dallas making a cameo? And the answer is yes. So sorry for the distraction, ladies, but the women behind the camera are rolling their eyes. But on that day when we were filming the destruction of the temple, these are the kinds of scenes that I'm not as passionate about. I mean, I'm passionate about writing it, with Tyler and Ryan, and I'm passionate about the fact that it's included. But like all the action stuff is less my forte. I'm really more into the character stuff, the dialogue. And Adam Drake, my assistant director, and Akis Konstantinopoulos, my cinematographer, and Mitch Hudson, my second AD, and or second AD, and the special effects guys who do all the explosions and the visual effects team. I was like, you guys get geeked out over this stuff. I'm going to let you do this. I'll, of course, supervise and make sure it's how we want it to look. But I'm going to go ahead and dress up as a Roman soldier, which I normally do a cameo in all of my projects, but I try not to be distracting. And so, yes, at one point you see a guy walking down the steps. He kicks a Pharisee right in the chest, knocks him down the stairs. That was just a bonus. I didn't ask for that. It was just an exciting addition. Not that I would normally want to do that in real life, of course, but on the show I thought, oh, this would be fun. And then I get to pretend to stab, and then I get to walk cool in slow motion while there are explosions going on around me. A dream of every dude who wants to look cool. So yeah, that was me. Emily asks, can you please make Atticus a good guy? He's really a really good bad guy, but I really badly want him to be a really good guy. Thanks for all the reallys, Emily. I'm going to say that that's a very good question. Caleb asks, Pilate keeps the high priest's garments. He says, to the victor goes the spoils. Does this mean he keeps Caiaphas' garment as another form of control over the Jews? This is a great question. This is why we watch The Chosen. This is why you read the Bible studies. This is why you get the devotional books. Oh, the devotional book doesn't get into this kind of stuff. But, and this is why you, of course, read your Bible, to look for clues and to look for content that maybe you've seen in the show. Because some people go, oh, well, this happens all the time. This part of the show isn't actually in the Bible. And then they read the Bible and they go, oh my goodness, it actually is. And some things aren't in the Bible, but are very relevant to the story because people who read the Gospels at the time that they were written would have understood some of these things. So those of you who say you shouldn't watch The Chosen because you get everything you need from the Bible, yes, of course, the Bible is all you need for salvation, but it is not all you need for true understanding of some of the stories that are in the Bible. Anyone who says, I get everything I need from the Bible, either has never attended church and listened to a sermon, because pastors just don't get up or priests don't get up and just read the Bible and sit down. They unpack it and they give you context that you can't get just from reading the Bible, or you read the commentary. In this case, yes, the Pilate kept the high priestly garments and granted them to the high priest for 1 week a year for Passover. And so if you watch the Bible roundtables, we talk about that. And if you watch the episode, you'll get that. The things that Pilate is saying to Caiaphas and vice versa in that scene are accurate to history. And so watch the scene, and that's what part of the one of the benefits of the Roman occupation when they conquered the Jewish people, when they conquered that area. They allowed the Jewish people to keep practicing their religion. They normally wouldn't do that. Typically, they took over the country, they conquered their culture, they started instituting Roman culture, and they also started instituting their religion. But in Israel, they allowed the Jews to keep their religion because the Jews refused to change, and they didn't actually want to have a war, they didn't want to be bloody, they didn't want to just kill everybody. So they said, okay, we'll allow you to practice your religion, but we're still going to make the country look Roman, and in exchange, we're going to keep these garments from you just as a way of exerting our control. Franklin asks, is Joanna's friend Phoebe that Phoebe, or is that just coincidence? Those of you who read the Bible know that Phoebe is mentioned in the book of Acts. So she's asking, is it that Phoebe that Joanna is referencing? That's a good question. Hannah asks, what is the significance of John seeing Jesus crafting the whip in the middle of the night? And there's another question. There's a couple questions here. I'll just read all these questions that are about the whip. So Kinsley asks, is Jesus using the bridle from season 3 to fashion the whip? Hopefully, most of you know the answer to that. You could tell just when he opens the box, pulls out the bridle. And then Samuel asks, in the Bible, when Jesus makes the whip, it feels more spontaneous. But in this episode, it feels almost planned. Can you share your thoughts on writing it this way? Okay, so I'll just unpack the whip scene at the end. The other commonly asked question that we got that wasn't specified here is, about some of Jesus' visions. Yes, his vision of the future is based on something that actually happened. The temple was destroyed in, I believe, 62 AD. I think it was 30 years after Jesus' death. I might be 70. The history nerds know the exact date, but I'm forgetting. Durbin, can you look up when the temple was destroyed after Jesus's?
70 AD for sure.
70 AD.
Yeah.
Okay, so 70 AD. Sorry. And so that was an actual event, and so Jesus is thinking about that in combination with the fact that they have turned the temple into a place of business and have manipulated and taken advantage of the people because of their offerings and sacrifices that are a good thing, that they are supposed to be doing. In fact, we unpack that in detail in episode 2 about why it's that way. And in fact, some people who saw that scene in the theaters were like, oh, there's a lot of exposition. Not a lot, but they were saying, oh, it felt like exposition about how this worked. Well, trust me, we did it in the most organic way that we could, but it's an important context to how the temple worked and why Jesus was so upset. And it wasn't just, oh, they're making money. Sacrifices always cost a little bit of money because people couldn't afford to get some of the animals, but the Jewish people in concert with the Romans, not all the Jewish people, of course, but some of the merchants were taking advantage of this, and it became a bastardization of what the temple was supposed to be, and that's what upset Jesus so much. And he saw the destruction of the temple in the future, but was seeing the current destruction of the temple at the same time. So he gets angry. Now, in the Bible, it does say he fashioned his own whip. And so we often have this picture of Jesus walking into the temple, gets angry, and just starts causing chaos. Well, that's not likely, because just the act of fashioning a whip would have taken some time. So this was, we believe, a predetermined event, something that he took the time to. He wasn't just irrationally angry. We also know that in one of the Gospels, I'm blanking on it, Jesus actually, when he got to Jerusalem that week, actually spent a time by himself at night. So this is why we portray this. He kind of got away from the rest of the disciples and spent a little alone time walking the city at night. And we do believe that that would have been a time for him to think about what was coming that week, but also one of the things that would have gotten him angry. And so we think this is a plausible, and that's always our word for the show. We're always trying to be plausible, even if we're not always factual. We don't always know the facts of some of the things that we are writing, but we want to make sure that they are capital T truth, that they are accurately capturing the character and intentions of Jesus in the Gospels, and that they are in fact plausible. And so we do believe from the Gospels and from history and from Jewish culture, it was plausible that Jesus would have, while he was walking at night, gotten more upset. Of course, we also added this scene of him blessing the wedding. So there was both rebirth happening, there was joy happening in the midst of all this sorrow. But also that he would have taken the time to have the idea to turn over the tables in the temple and to use this whip. We also love this running theme we've had since season 3 of this bridle that had been handed down from generations, used not only for transport, not only for entry into Jerusalem, not only for the escape from Egypt and from slavery that we talked about in season 3, but also ultimately to make a statement to the people of the temple. And if you think about it, Jesus' entry into Jerusalem was the touch point, was the beginning of the end, was kind of his arrival into Jerusalem as a king was what finally set off the leaders to kill him. And he also used that same bridle as another trigger, as another means of upsetting the apple cart, of turning over tables, of turning over expectations, of turning over traditions, which ultimately led to his death. So I don't believe that it was spontaneous in the Gospels. I do believe that it was planned, and that's why we wrote it that way. And when she asked about the significance of John watching him do it, we just portray John throughout this season as someone who is paying attention. We know that in the Gospels, John not only wrote about some of the events that took place, but he also wrote about the meaning of these events. John's Gospel is the most sensitive, the most metaphorical. In fact, meaning that he is telling stories and telling them in a way that is not only just factual, but also about the deeper meaning and what it represents. And we called the gospel that John's gospel is talking about Jesus as Son of God, whereas Matthew's gospel is about Jesus as Son of Man. And so John's gospel is proving that Jesus was the Messiah and the Son of God. And so we show John throughout this season as making a little more sense of what Jesus is doing and the deeper meaning of it than the other disciples. And so that's why we have John more observant this season, more in tune, more close by. So he's physically in more proximity to Jesus and also emotionally and spiritually more in proximity to Jesus. And that also leads him to, as we see in the Gospels, he's at the cross. And so like we do with The Chosen, we start with what we know, we work our way backwards. How does John get to the cross? Well, we see that he's got access to the temple. We'll see that throughout the season. We also believe that he is a more empathetic, intuitive, and sensitive disciple known as the one Jesus loved. We believe they had a close relationship, and John had all that proximity. So thank you for your questions. We hope there will be more of them. Please tune in this Sunday, this next Sunday, Prime Video. I was told specifically, call it Prime Video, and I'm already failing. Prime Video, Sunday, episodes 1 and 2 of season 5. That is the only place we'll be able to watch those 2 episodes. Then Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern, on the Chosen YouTube channel, you will be able to watch episode 3, free and easy in advance. We've got so much for you in that live stream that will also be from Italy. And then the 22nd, Sunday the 22nd, will be episodes 3, 4, and 5 on Prime Video. In the meantime, you can also check out thechosengifts.com. Do not miss the opportunity to get this hoodie, the best hoodie in the world. There's a shirt, of course, as well if you don't want a hoodie. And we've also got the Table is Set shirt that I'm wearing underneath this. That's the specific Season 5 shirt and hoodie. The Season 5 Bible study, taking you deeper into the stories and the gospel. And if you want, you can pre-order the DVD and Blu-ray. That won't be shipping until the end of the month. But if you want free shipping on your order today, you can unlock free shipping by either spending $77 in gifts or you just by ordering the Bible study with anything else. So order the Bible study with any other item. Even if you don't reach $77, you will get free shipping. It's just that important to us for you to have the Bible study in your home. If you haven't gotten the previous Bible studies, please do that as well. My heart is full. I am so pleased and honored and for the opportunity to be able to film here in Italy. That is because of Come and See. So I hope that you will consider donating to Come and See to allow us to continue to do Season 6, Season 7, market this around the world, keep it free around the world, translate it into hundreds of languages. And remember, because of that, your job is not to feed the 5,000, right? This show will accomplish the work that it's been doing around the world because of God and because of many things that are happening. You are not responsible for that. You are, in fact, responsible for the loaves and fish. The 5 loaves and 2 fish, that's why our company is called 5 and 2 Studios. We bring the 5 loaves and 2 fish. You bring your 5 loaves and 2 fish. And together we watch God feed the 5,000. I will see you soon.
Do you remember the moment when you heard the good news for the first time? When the truth captured your heart and opened your eyes? A light illuminating the shadows. The beginning of a transformation.
We're going to lose this battle for hearts and minds, especially this younger generation, if we don't act now. My fear is that this generation that is obsessed with sight and sound is going to be so cluttered with stories and content that put a block between them and God.
There's a story out there that gives us meaning, that gives us understanding. The story of Jesus walking on earth. It's being told in one of the greatest ways I believe has ever been told, which is through The Chosen.
Lazarus! Come out! All people will know that you are my disciples.
Please. Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean.
I am willing. Be cleansed.
The Come and See Foundation exists to share that relatable story with the world.
The Come and See Foundation provides that ability to compete in the marketplace and to compete in the pop culture conversation.
Come and See is set up to appeal to the one, speak to the heart, and give to the world.
We can appeal to the one by making sure that the production quality is as high as it can be and that it is competitive with everything else that's out there.
We see so much different art portrayed visually. And if it doesn't stand out and doesn't meet that measure of quality, it's going to seem phony. There's something about quality and authenticity that goes together. To appeal to the one, you need that. The Chosen has done that so beautifully, and our job at Come and See is to make sure that that continues.
We want to speak to the heart of the listener. We want to share that story in a way that's relatable and that's known by their heart language.
How long after my visit did you feel the change?
Quanto tempo dopo la mia visita hai percepito il cambiamento?
Non è per quello che avete fatto voi.
To był ktoś inny.
Un hombre?
Osnęło się Marianka.
On сказал, я его.
I am redeemed.
So this is how we're going to get to the one. 95% of this world speaks 600 languages, and we plan on being sure that The Chosen is in all 600 languages over these next few years.
It's never been done before. The most languages that any series has been translated and dubbed is about 50.
Lots of young people, Christian or non-Christian, they don't belong to the churches, but they watched The Chosen. They said, oh, we never understood Christ like this before.
There's people in here that can't read at all. I've seen people here cry because they can't read, but they've watched the show. They can see the love that was coming through Jesus.
And I know it's a television show, but it touched us so much.
I decided to watch The Chosen and found a renewal in my faith like nothing I've ever experienced.
And I felt like God was really working through the television show to reach her at that point.
The way that we give to the world is by making sure that the distribution of The Chosen is as wide and far as it can be.
There are so many people who can't pay for it. The gospel is free, so the show should be free.
We want to reach 1 billion people with this story of the authentic Jesus. In order to do that, There can't be any barriers for someone to watch it.
The Chosen is telling the story, the greatest story ever, in the best way ever, and we're going to reach 1 billion people.
Through the power of media, we can retell the story of Jesus so that our world can have access, understand, and relate to Jesus and who he really is.
Not what we were. I was one way and now I'm completely different. Those are in the show, but it's also what we are hearing over and over and over again. When someone told me to come and see, I saw, and I was changed.